Okay, hello, welcome to your weekend weather. It's going to get a little interesting. Today we had a lot of clouds around. There was some sun later in the afternoon. We started the day with a deck of mid-level and high-level clouds, and then toward the afternoon we kind of cleared out a little bit. Still some cirrus around, but we did have a lot of stratocumulus around today. And looking at some photos from today, you can see what the skies look like. We had some stratocumulus. See that over the water there. There was some breaks in the clouds toward later in the afternoon and the evening. The clouds have kind of rolled back in on us right now. You can see them rolling back in there as I was walking home tonight. But anyway, it's definitely gotten cold out there. Here's our satellite loop. And you can see definitely there was a patch of clouds, but I don't see too much. Right, there's some clouds rotating around a storm that's in the Canadian Maritimes, and that storm will hopefully be able to give us a clear day tomorrow. It's going to keep this junk that's from this next system over here from getting into our area tomorrow, at least for Long Island. Looking at you can see this is the next system. This system here, you can see there are a couple of systems here, and the Pacific Northwest has had terrible flooding, by the way, due to these storms that are keep coming in over that area. But as far as the radar goes, we do have a few snow showers making their way down from the lakes across Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Though I don't think we're going to see anything like that here. But it has certainly gotten colder. The alley's like 33. It's still warmer though than Islip, which is 30. The dew point's down to actually the dew point's got up to 14. That's kind of interesting because it was a little lower earlier on. If we go over here, dew point in the afternoon dropped actually into the single digits, and they came back up again, which is kind of interesting. That's probably some of that lake effect moisture maybe coming in, but the temperature is down to 30, and we were in the mid-30s much of the day today with these winds, and we did a wind gust of 43. There was a wind advisory that was in effect part of the day. It was dropped, but you can see today we're mainly in the mid-30s with the northwest wind, and some clouds around, of course, some sun, mix of sun and clouds. But our high temperature was actually, I'm not even going to show the highs because they occurred in the wee hours of the morning yesterday. We were in the 40s. The current temperatures are the current low right now. But what I will show you is we still got this gale warning in effect, and we're going to go over precipitation as far as how much rain we got yesterday. Wasn't really a whole lot. Let's go 48 hours. Very little. A few hundredths of an inch, maybe 0.05. Very little. Very little rain that we got from that system yesterday, as I expected. It only lasted about an hour or two, and that was it. So let's go and take a look at what our weekend is going to be like here. First, start with the European, I guess. And we'll go and we'll show you what's going to be happening in the European. In fact, I don't want to actually close this because I want to show you what's been going on. There's what's left of the wind advisory now over New England. But what I want to show you, you can see these pairs of storms here coming. There's one storm here, and then there's another one over here. It's really cold air behind that storm, but there's been a lot of flooding going on here in this area. Here, flood watch, special weather statements. They're dealing with an atmospheric river type of situation. And if we look at the 48-hour precipitation, take a look at these numbers here: 8 inches, 6 inches, and there's been a lot of flooding in a lot of valley towns. A lot of damage here. Look at this: 10 inches, 13 inches of rain in some of these areas, like Lynn Lake. So these areas have just gotten pounded with rain here, and it's all rain, I believe. It's not snow. The temperatures are too warm for that. It's above freezing. So a really bad situation over there we have going on. So is that a snow squall warning? Looks like there was a snow squall warning over here. It's not there anymore, but there was. So there were some snow squalls, and you can see lake effect snows there still being an issue over there. But we have our own snow to possibly look forward to here. So let's go look at the European model here for the 18Z run, and you can see there's that pressure gradient that's bringing us the wind. Eases a little bit tomorrow, but it's still going to be breezy. High pressure builds in for tomorrow, and I think there'll be more sunshine tomorrow, and then clouds come in for Saturday, and here's that next system here. Here's that next system. So that next system, that bit of energy right there, gets offshore, and it doesn't make a really strong coastal storm, but we're going to have precipitation start later Saturday night. Could start as a mix, but then changing to snow toward the end. And you can see that coastal system there. And then once that gets going, and behind that, we're going to be in some very frigid air as we get into next week with that high there building in. And you can see there, just really, it's going to be pretty darn cold once that snow is, especially after the snow. And if we look at the upper air here, which we'll go ahead and look at as well, to show you the energy. So here's your big trough here that's bringing down the cold. You can see here's the storm here, and you can see how it's kind of flat, but it's enough to generate something. And that's what has to be watched right now. And there will be colder air coming behind that. So see, as we go into sight, you can see that cold blast of air that's going to come down behind that storm there. These are the dew points and wind. Actually, I did not mean to do that. I meant to show you the temperature anomaly chart just to show you. So we're below normal now. Warms up just a little bit on Saturday to near normal, and then behind that snowstorm, here comes some really cold air for Monday. So yeah, that's what it's looking like right now. I mean, calling it a snowstorm is a little bit of an exaggeration. I mean, it's not going to have a ton of moisture to work with. Here's what we have. Actually, it's decent. It's decent, but it doesn't have any tropical connection. So, but there is some moisture there. And as we get closer to the event, we'll have more models to look at. And we can actually do look at FGen on this as well, which is another tool we can use for snowfall. It's not terribly impressive, as you see here. That's the 850. Let's do the 700. It's not terribly impressive. You're not going to have like a heavy bursts of snow, but it'll just be a light snow. That's what it's looking like on the European anyway. We can look at the GFS and see if it looks really any different. I don't really see any difference here in this. Yeah, I don't really see any difference, and we'll just look at this as well. So this is the GFS, and again, you can see GFS is a little quicker with the way this moves versus the European. The Euro is a little more, makes it last a little more, but you can see it's very, very light, and it really won't amount to much. Even the total accumulated precip will be like maybe a quarter of an inch. Maybe. This is the European. So a quarter of an inch would get us around 2 inches of snow, perhaps. GFS is even less. GFS is drier with this. The icon, we don't have that 0Z run of the icon in, but icon is similar to the Euro. It looks like it has more to the south. So as we get closer, we'll have more models to look at. So I'll have to do another video perhaps tomorrow night or most likely Saturday night, I think. We'll have to do one as we get closer to the event and we have more models to look at. But this will be our first snowfall of the season. So anyway, let's go to the HRRR, which isn't going to show that storm. And we'll go ahead and look at our dew points and wind flow. Obviously, Arctic air in place. See, it looks like the dew points drop again toward the morning. We have northwest winds, but you see how there aren't as many barbs on these wind symbols here. So the winds do die off tomorrow, though there won't be radiational cooling because we're still going to have wind on Friday night, and then the clouds increase. But then on Saturday, you can see we have warmer air come in. Dew points may briefly go above freezing, but then they go below freezing again once this front comes through. So tonight, the temperatures will probably drop into the 20s probably for Long Island. I don't think we're going to see teens because I don't think there's going to be any radiational cooling. And then tomorrow, we'll have mid-30s for highs. And then tomorrow night, you see, it's not going to, maybe it'll drop, but I don't really see the radiational cooling tomorrow. Maybe there'll be a little bit of it. I'll have to look at the cloud cover forecast, but lows will be in the 20s. And then Saturday, we'll warm up into the low 40s. And then you can see the colder air that's coming in. So This is the H-triple-R we have it right. We'll just take a look at a sounding for tomorrow, and then just to judge cloud cover at this point. Looks like this looks pretty good for tomorrow for sunshine. Hopefully clear skies. These symbols, this actually looks very good. So we'll go over to the. I mean, there aren't too many models that go far enough out for that storm. Two of the 0Z NAM, but I don't think that's even going to take us out. All right, this sort of does. So we can look at the 0Z NAM and the dew points, and this kind of shows you the dew points below freezing support the snow, and you can see there, dew points are below freezing or at freezing, and then here comes the colder air that comes in behind that storm. The temperatures, that's the other issue. The temperatures will be, again, milder, but then as they drop below freezing overnight, the NAM is kind of really not really dropping those temperatures that much. So the snow might not stick to the pavement. It might just stick to grassy areas, and it might be on the wet side. Let's see what total snowfall is with this NAM here. So the NAM, again, is around that 1 to 2 inches, and maybe a little more to the south, maybe closer to 3 or 4. So I'll show the NAM. The NAM is the wetter model that we have, all right, that we can show. So you can see there is a period of snow that develops later Saturday night into Sunday. It's mainly going to be on the light side, but it'll last for a while. It'll last for maybe 6 hours. So that will allow it to accumulate, and then it slowly moves out on Sunday with the colder air behind it. So that's one model we can look at here with snowfall. Obviously, we already looked at the GFS, and that was not terribly impressive. Let's look at the FGens on this and see if there's anything more. There's a little bit more, but nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. Look at the 850 as well. There's nothing crazy here, so there's not going to really be bursts of snow or thumps of snow. It's just going to be a light type of snow, a peaceful snow. You could say that. So that's what it's looking like. We'll shift over to the skies now. I know I don't have the 0Z RGM in, but we can look at the 18Z, and we'll look at the skies for tomorrow. And it looks like it's a mostly sunny day across the year, not showing many clouds at all, in fact. And tomorrow night, it's only showing cirrus, so it's possible, if the winds do go lighter tomorrow, we'll probably have lows in the teens, perhaps, in the Pine Barrens in the morning, or at least 20s. Probably at least the teens are possible for radiational cooling. 20s, of course, the alley won't cool off. And then, obviously, clouds are on the increase for Saturday. And we can also look at the RGEM as well and how it handles this storm as well. You can see it does bring the sun out later on Sunday, by the way, once the snow is done. Let's take a look at this as well. So, again, the RGEM starts it as a little bit of mixed light rain, perhaps. And RGEM's a little faster, starts it a little more toward 10 o'clock, so it's a little quicker, and then you would have that period of snow. And again, it's not a very strong low, and actually some areas might just get rain according to the RGEM on the South Shore, and then snow just at the very end. So again, the RGEM's trending a little warmer. I'm just looking at all the models here. Total snowfall on the RGEMs. There's going to be a big gradient where some areas the RGEM's being a little more generous with possibly closer to 4 or even 5 inches. Lower Westchester, North Shore, Nassau into New York City and central Jersey. South of that, barely anything. So again, we have a lot of different models. We're going to have to look at this and see how it evolves. It's not going to be a big storm, but it will be the first snow of the season. So we'll go back to the man here. We'll just look at sky cover on. Again, this is actually we have the higher resolution man, but it only goes out to tomorrow, again, not showing many clouds at all, showing fairly clear skies tomorrow. And then the clouds kind of wait until later, so on Friday night. So, yeah, radiational cooling a possibility for Friday night. As far as winds go, today. Um, won't need a wind advisory, that's for sure. You can see the winds drop off more by the afternoon. And as far as the overnight goes, yeah, the winds do become lighter, so radiational cooling a possibility if it does go calm. Um, Now, as far as snowfall on this will be the European snowfall output, so we'll go over and we'll look at that here. Just got to drag this over here, and this will show us again. And again, that 1 to 2 inch amount. And I tend to agree with this European here, but we'll see as we get closer to it won't be a lot of snow, but it'll be, we haven't had snow in a while, so either tomorrow night or I think maybe tomorrow night or Saturday night or both. I don't know. Probably Saturday night I'll have a video. We have all the models. I'll have my next weather video Saturday night, so I'll have all the models. Sometime on Saturday we'll do it, maybe earlier on in the day to see, because right now it's just too soon right now. But hey, we're looking at the first snow of the season, and hopefully that means we'll have an actual winter this year. It's looking better, that's for sure. But hopefully it could just be a tease. So we'll have to see. But at least we're at right now we have winter, so. And hopefully we get some snowy scenes. Not too much snow, but just enough to make things look pretty. Anyway, thank you for watching, and good night.